So you've just joined a new team and you want to set yourself up for long-term success in the job. I give this advice a lot when I'm mentoring, so I want to give it out more generally to everyone about what you should do as soon as you join a new team, as soon as you take on either a new role within your company on a new team, or you've just taken a new job. You've just accepted a new job, you roll in, and you can take control of the trajectory and how much success you're going to have in that new role by just practicing a few behaviors in the first 2 to 6 weeks. You can really set yourself up to, number one, be looked at as a contributor, a superstar, someone who's willing to get in there and help, but you're also setting yourself up for long-term success by doing a lot of the things that people 3 to 6 months into the new job think, I wish I'd have done that before. So here they are. Here are just some basics that you can do to set yourself up for success in a new role. And the first thing, it's kind of obvious, but people don't usually intentionally do it. They usually wait for someone else to get the ball rolling. But get to know your teammates and your leader. Spend a few minutes with everyone. Obviously, not everyone's going to have time on your first day. So feel everybody out, figure out how busy they are, figure out the best way that you can sit down and get 10, 15, 20 minutes of time with people and get to know them. Who are they? What do they do? Why do they why do they have that job? What is it that they enjoy doing? What types of tasks and work make them the happiest? What's the best way to communicate with them? Do they like emails? Do they like some sort of messenger or chat? Do they like direct face-to-face, like phone calls? Everyone has a different style of working, communicating. Everybody has different goals and objectives. Everyone has different preferences. And so this isn't just you introducing yourself to them. You introducing yourself to them is actually the smallest part. The most important piece is to get to know them. Make sure that they introduce themselves to you. And this is a good way to open a dialogue, is to get them used to talking to you, not you being the one who's making this conversation all about yourself. Because that's what open communications are about, is not just giving information, but also getting information and creating a connection by caring about that other person and being interested in who that person is. Obviously, respect boundaries and respect deliverable schedules. Don't be intrusive. But it's really important to get to know the people that you're going to be working with and understanding what the best way to work and interface with them is at a professional level. Now, next, get to know the business. What are the business goals? Look at what the C-suite and senior leadership are talking about. Look at what your team's leadership is talking about. What are the goals? What are you accountable for as a team and as a business to shareholders? Very important to understand. Next, products. What do you sell? Why do people pay you? What is it that generates revenue? What kind of value does the business generate for customers? Very important to understand not just the products that you work on and touch personally, but get to know all of them. Get to know what the business actually does, and you will have a much easier time with every interaction that goes forward. Get to know all the organizations. Look at an org chart. It can sometimes be that simple. Look at all of the different organizations that the company has. It's important to know not only what the business produces, but who all is involved in producing that and where are they? What do they do? Get to know the organizations, customers. Who buys your stuff? Who are you going to, at the end of the day, you're always servicing customers, either internal or external, but the goal is to service external customers to generate revenue. So get to know them. Who are they? Who buys your stuff? Most companies have a ton of information internally about who their customers are, why they are their customers, and what their customers want, what the business does to service customers. It's important. Get to know challenges. What are the key challenges that the business is facing? What are the key challenges that your organization and your team are facing? Look at other business units. What are the ones that you support? What are their core challenges? What are your customers' core challenges? And get to know what problems you're going to be solving by starting with understanding the business challenges that are being faced every day by everything from other organizations to the business as a whole to you and your team. Get to understand the lay of the land from a business perspective. Now, as you're identifying teams, you're going through that org chart, your job has inputs and outputs. You are going to be getting something that is going to help you do your job, and then you are going to be passing on some product, some work product, some result to someone else. Get to know who those teams are. Who gives you requirements? Who gives you the tasks that you're going to end up working on? Who helps manage your infrastructure, especially in data science? Who helps you and facilitates the job that you do? Who do you hand off to? What are their needs? What are the needs of the people that you hand work off to that have to put it in production? Sometimes you're the one putting it into production, but in most businesses, there are other teams involved. Sometimes those are other development teams or quality assurance teams. Even IT can be a downstream team, but you also think of downstream teams as who's going to be using, who's going to be consuming, who is going to be working with all of those things that you deliver. So get to know your upstream and downstream teams a little bit better than you get to know the business as a whole, because you want to start building relationships and understanding needs early on. Learn why you get paid. This is, we assume we know, but it's really important to confirm your assumptions. Ask why did the data science role, your role in particular on the data science team, why does it exist? What are the expectations? This is the best way to ask this question. What are the expectations for you? And how long do you have to meet that expectation, that first expectation? Some people are expected to deliver right off the bat. And so onboarding becomes a very rapid process, but you have to deliver quickly. Other roles, you may not be expected, especially in more research-focused roles. There may be a longer onboarding period where your learning curve is a little bit longer, getting up to speed on everything that you need to know in order to get started. And so there's a bit longer time horizon where the expectation for you to begin to produce a little further out. But get to know what it is, because in a lot of cases, people spend months in jobs and they have no idea why they got hired or what they get paid for. And that's really important. How do you succeed if you don't know why you're there? So definitely ask questions about expectations and the horizons for actually meeting those expectations. Now, next, find the data. Find it and assess it. This is critical. Figure out where it is. Do that early. Don't wait until your first project to figure this out. Go out and find your data. And in some cases, that's a simple process. It's well cataloged, well managed, but in most companies, it isn't. So go out and figure out where it is. Spend the time, figure out first, how available is it? How easy is it to get data? How accessible is it? Next, how high quality is it? Do you have good sources and bad sources? Does everything require a significant amount of cleaning? Are there just no pipelines? Again, back to availability. If there are no pipelines, how do you get access to data? How much work are you going to have to put into getting access to quality data? So assess that. Figure out where it is. Locations. It's usually all over the place. It can typically be in different types of repositories. So figure out where it is, where it lives, who owns it. Figure out ease of implementing new data gathering initiatives. How easy is it to get new data or to update data, refresh it, clean it, change the way it's gathered? Figure out how easy it is, because that has a lot of impact on your projects. You can really decide what solutions you want to pursue if you understand exactly how hard it is for some of the upstream processes and requirements to be accomplished in order for you to implement a particular model. And a lot of that has to do with, can you get the data? And if it's existing data, how much work are you going to have to do to make that data useful? Those are all important things. So you find and assess the data. Do that very early on. Sign up for some work. Find something that you can do, because there's something that you could probably do week 2 that it'll give you something to do. Doing is the best way to understand where you fit, how everything works within the organization, within the team, within the tech stack. Pick something that you can succeed in and sign up for it, then deliver. Make sure you actually deliver results. It does a lot to have someone who takes control and very early on just says, hey, let's work. Let me work. I see this right here and I think I can take that work item. Can I do that? Can I take this one? It's initiative and it's impressive. And then deliver. So right away from the very beginning, you have a track record. You showed initiative, you took on a work project that you could complete, and you delivered. You nailed it. It's perfect. Great way within your first week or two to just establish who you are and start building a reputation for getting the job done. That's important to do from the beginning. So try to deliver something very early on, and then finally help someone else. We don't talk about this enough. Find some way that you can help someone, because that's how relationships start getting built. And it's not just a relationship with that person. You're establishing a track record where you are available, you are there to help, you are a teammate, you are part of a collaborative effort to do work, and you're willing to step in and help out. That's huge. Again, you're building the relationships that you've started at the very beginning with results, with tangible work, because that's what you're there for. And once you understand what you get paid for, and what's going on, you got the lay of the land, just get to work. Why not? It doesn't have to be a slam dunk or a big bang project or even a big bang deliverable. Just deliver something. Do something in those first week, 2 weeks to establish a cadence of delivery and talk to people, find out someone that you can help and do it. Execute. Be someone who provides a valuable resource from the very beginning. You're setting yourself up for success. So these are some critical things to do. First couple of weeks, don't wait to do these because you'll regret it. A lot of people realize I only had time during that onboarding stage to do some of this. And months later, if it doesn't get done, you regret not doing it and taking the opportunity to get some of the early groundwork laid for success for you long term in that role. But also dive in, get started early on and build a cadence, build a reputation for being somebody who helps out and who gets the job done. So those are the important things to get started on just right away. Why wait for these to come to you? Take control.